All right, let's talk about something that pretty much affects all of us, the line between our work life and our home life. Because that line, it's not just getting blurry anymore. For a lot of us, it's being completely erased and redrawn from scratch.
I mean, think about it for a second. That phrase, leave work at work. It almost sounds quaint now, doesn't it? Kind of like something from a black and white movie. It suggests there was this actual physical door you could close, and boom, you were done for the day. So what happens when that door just disappears?
You know, to really get what's happening now, we've got to take a quick step back and look at how things used to be. For the longest time, our lives were basically split right down the middle into two totally separate worlds. Okay, let's dive into the first half of that. We're talking about the professional domain, the office, the factory floor, the shop. It was a physical place you had to actually go to do your job. See, the office was its own little universe with its own set of rules. You had a structured environment, right? Think cubicles, meeting rooms, a certain hierarchy. And your brain? It was totally in task mode, locked onto goals and deadlines. Socially, you were dealing with colleagues. And maybe the most important part, it was all contained by time and space. You were on the clock from 9 to 5 at a specific address. That was the deal. End of story. So then, let's flip it. What about the other half of life? That was the home sphere. This was supposed to be your personal sanctuary, your escape from all the pressure and demands of the work world. And in here, the rules were completely different. Home was all about flexibility, comfort, personal choice, not about hitting quotas. Your brain switched gears from tasks to relationships with your family, your friends, and yourself. And time? There was no clock to punch. It was just your time, fluid and shaped by your life, not a manager's schedule. And you can see it so clearly here, the Great Divide. On one side, you've got the structured, public, task-focused world of work. On the other, the flexible, private, relationship-focused world of home. There was a big, solid wall right between them, and we crossed that physical and mental line every single day, twice a day. But then, well, you know what happened. That wall didn't just start to crumble. It got bulldozed. And we entered this totally new era, one that I think is best described not as a balance, but as the great blur. And that brings us to this really important new idea: work-life integration. Seriously, forget the whole idea of work-life balance. That's old thinking. Balance suggests you have two different things on a scale. Integration, that's about throwing it all into a blender and creating one fluid reality. So how did this happen so incredibly fast? Well, it was kind of like a three-step chain reaction. First, technology came along and put the entire office right in our pockets, 24/7. That, of course, led to work becoming location independent. You were no longer chained to a specific building. And once that happened, the whole 9 to 5 model just started to fade away, replaced by this feeling that we should be always on. And the results? I mean, it's the daily reality for so many of us, right? We take important calls from the kitchen, we answer work emails while trying to watch a movie. The workday doesn't end when you leave the office because for a lot of us, the office never really leaves us. It's just everywhere. Okay, so the big question is, what does all this actually do to us, to our well-being and our quality of life? Because this great blur changes everything. And believe me, it is not a simple good or bad story. It's complicated. This new reality really is a double-edged sword. On one hand, the perks are amazing, right? We've got incredible flexibility, more control over our own schedules, and hey, for many, no more soul-crushing commutes. But, and this is a big but, the downsides are just as real. We're talking about a huge risk of burnout, the struggle to ever truly disconnect. And yeah, it can get pretty lonely sometimes. And this quote, I think, just hits the nail on the head. The challenge isn't trying to rebuild those old walls. It's about figuring out how to make this new blended reality actually work for us, so that our work lives and our personal lives aren't at war with each other, but actually make each other better. Which leaves us all with the biggest question, really. If the old boundaries are gone, the office building, the 9 to 5 clock, who builds the new ones? In this totally fluid world, that job of drawing the line, of deciding when the workday is truly over, well, that job now falls on us, on you. And that's something to really think about.